All right, here we go. We are sort of back. Alvin and I have secured a room at the Calgary Library. Of course, if you listen to the audio quality, this intro was not recorded in that room. But we finally sat down and did some stuff, and I've split it up into 2 episodes to give us a little buffer because we are taking too long of a break. So today we're just going to catch up on the summer here in 2023 here in Calgary and kind of figure out where we're at. So we're always looking to have new conversations. So come on, reach out to us. Come sit down on a microphone. Tell us why we're wrong about everything. We love that shit. Let's get back to my viewfinder. This is real. It's real now. Hold on. I'll also take a photo. I'm going to go meta. Oh, I missed it.
Oh, okay.
Take a picture of you taking a picture because we are photographers apparently. And I'll post that on the gram. I shouldn't have done landscape. Who gives a shit? I can
take this Rode boom arm home.
Yeah. We're in trouble. Okay. On the presumption that this is working, what episode is this? Episode...
I think it's... I don't even know, dude.
5?
All I know is that it's been, 2 months since we last recorded? May, I think?
I don't know. It's, May. Definitely before the Stampede.
Yep.
All right. Is it recording? It is recording. Where do you want to start? We spent how long?
I don't even know.
45 minutes? 30 minutes trying to turn this computer on.
Yeah. So we are live and alive from the Calgary Central Library.
Central Library is fucking dope, man.
This is a really nice space despite how small it is.
Yeah.
These doors are locked, right?
Yeah, it's locked. And we can't get back in without the librarian, so you know it's legit.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bigger room if we ever have a guest. But I do think maybe we should just record in here. It'll make it more real.
Yeah, totally.
More intimate.
Hold on. This gum. So there's no chewing in the...
That's part of your charm.
I don't want to ruin it, you know?
It's part of your charm, just fucking
There's
eating.
not even a garbage here. Where do I put this?
Oh, you're right.
That's all good. I think I have a receipt here somewhere. Oh, I have an old bus pass. The Pride one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was at the parade. We should talk about that quickly.
LGBT rights.
So we went to Pride Parade, and it was fucking bonkers. And I would just say quickly, because this doesn't really have anything to do with photography, easily double the size of the Stampede Parade. Easily.
Really?
It was like, I think we got there half an hour late. We stayed an hour, and there was still at least 30, 40 minutes after that. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
And people were like into it.
That's just proof that the vaccines are making your kids gay.
Yeah, you know what? I was vaccinated. So yeah, that might be a thing.
Yeah.
That might be a real thing.
I'm feminized now. I grew my hair out, but then I woke myself up from that woke agenda and cut my hair.
Awful. Fucking conservative. Quick note on this recording, we can't actually hear what the end product is until we get home. So we'll see what happens. Thank you, previous user of the booth who fucked this computer up so badly.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been you or the...
No, it was blank. And then Alvin had to come here as the PC guy and actually spent 30 minutes. I gave up. You know, us Mac people, if we don't click it once and it just doesn't work and we leave, it's over.
I mean, at least now we know this time. We just need to bring a micro SD card and...
Oh, just use the board?
Like straight up, put it right into the Rodecaster and then hit record right there.
That's a good idea.
Just so it's more straightforward, less of a hassle. And I'm pretty sure this thing does multi-track recording, which is, just makes it easier on the post-processing side.
I hope so. We're going to find out. All right, so we have a lot to talk about because we haven't recorded anything. I will let you in on this secret. I have actually tried to record a solo episode 3 separate times in the last 3 months, and they're all shit.
Why?
I don't know. You
should have just given them to me so I could,
they were like, I put in, the longest one was like a 15-minute rambling session, and then I put it into post. I was trying to edit it on the old Adobe Audition, and I was like, wow, this is fucking awful. Yeah, people should not have to listen to
Why?
this.
Just like because of your takes or
no,
the technicalities?
I was like rambling, and my tone was weird. And I don't know. The things I was saying, I don't know if I was agreeing with after I said it.
Okay.
I don't remember what my opinions are. I don't even remember what I was talking about. You know what? I was trying to research photography verbiage and whether there was a colonial link in the sort of gun metaphors we use for photography. And I found this essay from, I don't remember this woman's name, but it was written early, 1990, I'm going to say 6 or something, pre 9/11. And yeah, it's some really interesting takes on just how violent photography is implicitly.
I presume that she had some analysis. I'd
Yeah,
like to hear it.
it's 3 months ago. I have the essay bookmarked somewhere, but if I were to invent a thesis, because I can't tell you this is what it really was, I think the essay itself was a critique on there's a woman famous for,
Susan Sontag?
maybe Sontag,
Yeah.
who had written her book on, what's her critique on? This is a critique about her critique on photography. Anyways, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, I think the premise was that we have these violent words that use gun metaphors to, essentially we're extracting or stealing moments from people. We're presuming that they're reality, but in fact, we are, committing violence, let's say, to our subjects. In the end, she was suggesting that we use verbiage like make photographs instead of taking them or shooting or, capturing.
Mm-hmm. And I have heard that in the contemporary space as well.
Yeah.
The term making photographs instead of taking, just for mainly those same reasons as well. But go on.
Yeah, so then I was trying to Google, like in Korean, my type of Korean, but we say sajin chiko, which is kind of like its own verb for photography. And then I looked up the Tagalog one, but I don't remember it. But it's also not, I don't think it's a violent term. Am I right? Do you know how to say it?
I probably don't even know the term. Usually I just hear it like, oh, picture.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I looked up, I don't know, I don't remember. I looked up like 5 different ways to say it. And I think in Japanese, it's like a violent term. I think they use take or capture, but I could be wrong.
What was the specific verbiage in English that you were?
Oh, I think my Google is literally like how to say taking or like photographing in different languages. So,
okay.
Yeah, but it was very surface level. And I'm pretty sure that my thesis failed like by the 3rd language. Because, the other thing is photography is a very Western Eurocentric process, right?
Okay. Well, I mean, the direct Google Translate, and I don't even know this because I'm not very fluent in Tagalog, but pagkuha ng larawan.
But are those basic verbs? Is it a verb that you'd use in another context?
Yeah. Well, pagkuha ng means like to take.
Oh, okay.
And then I presume larawan means
a photograph or an image. Okay.
Yeah, image.
So it is still this capturing idea. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think that connection has legs, but it just made me wonder where that sense of violence is. I don't know. I don't like to use the word violence either. It sounds so intentional. Power dynamic. The power dynamic. Exploitation. And we've talked about that a lot. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like photography is inherently exploitative. You're taking a subject, not to sound like a broken record, but you are taking a subject matter in the real world and transforming it into something else, right? Whether your intentions of it are good or not. And yeah, like not a lot of people really pay attention to that when they take photos. Maybe more so in this current space. I wouldn't know, but I know I certainly have for sure. I haven't even taken that many photos as of late.
It's just hard. It's like part of the vernacular. You grow up, let's say, in the craft, not necessarily when you're a little child per se, but yeah, it's hard to change the way we speak. It's like I've been noticing everybody saying y'all, and I fucking hate it because I don't like country, but it turns out it's because it's their way of getting rid of you guys. So like, I'm in these meetings and everybody's saying y'all. I'm like, what the fuck? When did we get so country? But it's apparently
the y'all Kata.
Yeah, so they're going that way. And then when I try to think of what I would say as opposed to y'all, it's like friends, people. It gets weird.
Yeah, well, I don't really give a fuck. Like I
still say you guys a lot, but
yeah, like I'll still say you guys if someone's offended. It's like
I know.
I
It's just
will
what it is.
accommodate, but also like I don't know. I just feel like it's a silly thing to get mad about. But
Yeah.
that's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird
Speaking
one.
as the very social justice warrior leftist that I am, no, like I really don't give a fuck. Like there are some issues on the political spectrum that it's just culture war bullshit. And then
Yeah.
I think it's just reductive as far as like class antagonisms go, and that doesn't really apply to me. But I will acknowledge like intersectionality is a thing for sure. I feel like it's just such a silly thing to like police one's language.
Yeah, I was talking about. Sorry to bother you. Have you seen that movie? Fucking
No, what
bananas.
is that?
Lakeith Stanfield and it's Boots. Is that Riley? It's Riley, that crazy fucker. Anyways, he directed it. I think you would like it a lot, but it used to be on Netflix for a long time. But it's you need to rent it. It is fucking bananas. I can't actually explain it to you because the whole premise is a spoiler alert. But I will say that it is maybe a fever dream, angry poem manifestation of everything you like to talk about: class war, racism, uh, corporate capitalism, all that kind of shit.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's fucking weird as hell. Anyway, so we were reviewing this movie, and this has come up a few times, but it brought up this idea, for example, that Korean people and Black people in the States do not get along when they ought to. There's really a lot of interesting overlap in culture and history, at least in the 60s and 70s, that really ought to have made them allies. But there's a lot of intentional propagandizing and cultural interference, and now they're sworn enemies sometimes. Not the young people, but certainly the boomers don't get along.
Mm.
There's the whole nesting machine guns and wars in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that because for whatever reason I was thinking of the LA riots in the 90s and how the Korean shop owners would just like camp out on the top of their rooftops, mainly taking aim at, just the
Black youth.
Yeah.
Really. And it sucks because they're both oppressed, especially in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, BTSing it yet. But it reminded me of that suddenly because all of these things that we're getting upset about in cancel culture, I wonder how much intentionality the power structure has in sowing the seeds for us to be yelling at each other about saying you guys instead of looking at the people who are actually oppressing the lower caste in the system. Anyways, it's just a thought that I had about language.
That's a very interesting thing to think about. Well, especially the both of us growing up in a North American upbringing, away from our roots, which is it's interesting because there are no pronouns in Tagalog.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, it's the opposite in Korean.
Yeah, like when we refer to someone, we say like "sha," right? But there are like uncles, aunties,
interesting.
like tita.
Yeah. I've heard that before. I don't know enough about Filipino culture to understand gender norms or social, structures. So I don't know enough about that. But I do know about Koreans, and we're fucking weird. It's opening up finally, but that strong Confucian line makes very restrictive identity politics, right? Not just with gender, but with class systems and
oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. We don't know much being North American raised, but the more I think both of us learn about where we come from, it's total mindfuck.
Yeah,
it explains a lot of intuitive things we have.
I will say though, like, with the introduction of Latinx, and I think it carried over to Filipinx.
Right.
I don't know.
There's an overlap.
That's pretty funny to me, just because I've just heard the term Filipino as a general term for male and female. Well, there's like Filipina, right? Which is, I guess that's valid, but I don't know. I've never considered Filipinx to catch on.
No, I haven't heard that necessarily in the vernacular, but I'm trying to remember, like when I was young, if we refer to female Filipinos. I mean, I've heard Filipina, but I don't know if that was such a common term. But maybe in the 90s we were just disregarding women in general. So
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Speaking of which, you went to Fiesta Filipino.
Yeah. So
over the
then,
weekend?
okay, so we should talk. Okay, we're rambling again. Let's talk about a couple things. We can talk about festivals. We actually met at one. Uh, we can talk about Stampede, but I really want to talk about AI. But yes, I was at what is it called? Filipino Fiesta?
Yeah, or Fiesta Filipino.
Yeah, it was fucking raucous, man. It was crazy. I went when they opened it last year, and it was kind of like people just setting up tents.
Well, it was like during COVID is still a thing, but it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic is still ongoing, by the way.
No, not in Alberta. And we solved it, just like
Are you sure? Like I saw the Calgary Sun even write an article.
Oh, really? Are they writing about
COVID-19, the return, something like that? Hell yeah, brother!
All right. I'll keep an eye out. We'll go look for some new swabs.
We're gonna put the muzzles back. This muzzle sounds like Muslim.
I actually was out. My Emerson and Helen got sick a couple weeks ago, and I actually did the good Asian boy thing. I wore a mask even though I was not presenting symptoms.
No, that's good.
So I wasn't patient zero. Imagine that, listeners.
That's good.
Don't be patient zero. Anyways, yeah. So I went to Philippine Fiesta, and we lasted about 45 minutes. It was crazy, man. I didn't know you guys had like they're not taiko drums, but it was like a big drum ceremony, like performance. And they had almost like line dancing. So I don't know what that is.
Oh, probably tinikling.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they had this big mob around, it was probably 10 women, in this choreographed dance. And then we kind of circle around. There's so much food, but it's all meat and it's all crazy, and food trucks.
All greasy.
And then in the big main stage in Olympic Plaza, they had a Zumba performance, which is fucking hilarious. So they had, 100 people Zumbaing.
We've co-opted that for sure. 100%.
So good.
There was actually supposed to be a famous Filipino, this is embarrassing to say, but in the Philippines, we have copied the Koreans and co-opted K-pop.
Nice.
Known as P-pop.
Yes.
So there was a P-pop group that was supposed to come called BGYO. I guess the acronym would mean Baguio, which is a city.
Okay. I was hoping for something sexual. I don't know why.
Yeah, no.
Didn't work out.
I think their visas got denied or something like that. So
shit.
they couldn't make it.
Okay. That would have, I don't know, it would have been, I think it would have caught Emerson's attention more. We were walking sort of on that slope, and he's kind of like, what are they doing? I'm like, oh, that's Zumba. That is Zumba. But if he had seen, was it a boy or girl group or?
Oh, it's a boy. It's a boy band.
Yeah, if you saw a boy group doing choreographed dancing to sort of computer generated pop music, he would have wanted to sit there and bask in that. He loves that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
But it was overwhelming for him because it was so noisy, in a cool way.
Like we party hard.
Oh yeah. And
when we celebrate.
Probably like 3 PM. So I don't know where that went in the evening, but it probably went to a darker place.
Dude, my fucking neighbors, they're Filipino, and there was one point where they would not stop partying until like 11 at night, and even then, the music was so loud. I'm sure my white neighbors got annoyed, and a part of me was like, oh, man, I want to just call the cops, so they can tone it down. But another part of me is like, yeah, just like annoy them.
It's my people. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I remember when we moved to Calgary, it was so karmic. When I was really heavily partying, I was that guy for sure. And it wasn't 11. Like we were just losing our minds at all hours of the morning. So noisy. And we were in a townhouse complex. So I'm definitely owed some noise retribution. But now that I'm old, it pisses me off. Like even if people are talking in the street, I'm just like, fuck, man. It's like 10:30 p.m.
Damn.
Go back home.
Boomer.
Yeah. No, so yeah, we went. It was good. And I think that was last weekend, was it?
Yes.
Okay, so we ended up going to Prince Island to check out the Pride Festival, but we found out after it was the adult festival. It wasn't like the family.
Okay.
So we got there and they had all the food trucks, and they had, I think, a drag queen performing on the stage. And as we went through the booths, it was like crochet dicks and BDSM shit and like swings. And, we're not too worried about it, but it's not a place where you can sit and loiter either with Emerson. I don't really want him to keep asking me why there's so much latex in this booth. And then what else do we do? Yeah, it was good. We've been trying to go out You and I met at Korean Fest, which was way weaker, but
It's all right. You guys will get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's just not a lot of Koreans in Calgary, I
No,
guess.
there aren't.
Yeah,
No.
it's probably a good thing. Uh, we went to that before COVID, and they were in a field in Kensington, I think, and it was like the same number of people, but it felt nicer, cozier because they weren't in that.
Yeah,
hot
that's what my
pavement.
wife said.
Yeah,
Yeah, she went there, I think, last year.
it's nice because it's like grassy and it's good food,
Yeah.
and it had a way better vibe. But that concrete jungle show
Oh
was
God, it was so fucking hot,
Dude,
dude. Just radiating
fucking brutal.
off the fucking concrete. Oh God.
That's why we booked it. Like, I was seeing you in what's your wife, Marielle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fucking sweating.
Yeah,
dude.
man. We were like, we should hang out. And then we went for we split up accidentally because we were both leaving that shaded area. And then I wanted Emerson to take a picture of the hanbok to send to my grandparents. And as we're coming back to find you, I was like, fuck it. We got to go. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to pass out. This place
No,
is
I
awful.
don't blame you. We didn't leave that much long. Like we didn't stay that much longer after you had left. I think maybe 2 or 3 performances.
Was it karaoke?
Huh?
What was happening on the stage?
No,
It was
they were performing.
Oh, that was like legitimate performers?
Yeah,
Okay.
there were some Filipinos singing "Cupid" by
Oh, nice.
50/50,
No.
and I was like, not all of us can sing, but keep trying, girl.
there was I swear, so judgmental, but there was definitely one person singing when we were in line to get the Korean costume. That's what the hanbok is. That could not have been a professional singer. And I don't want to be a hater, but I hope she was just like a good attempt at public karaoke. But it was quite bad.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was festivals, and we've been out and about. I don't remember. Summer's been pretty busy. We've been doing some stuff, but I don't know. We went to Stampede. How was that? I've been taking pictures again. It's pretty exciting.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have not actually, surprisingly. I tried taking pictures at Korea Fest. No
Yes.
dice.
Yeah, it was a little soft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried. I wanted to go to Pride and Fiesta Filipino, but my wife and kid got sick,
Yeah.
so I was responsible and didn't go as well in case that I caught it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Stampede, I actually shot a lot there, but I haven't seen the files yet.
Buried.
Yeah, that's about it. I know that I tried out my new camera.
Wait, what's your new camera?
Well, the Sony A7C,
Oh, okay,
which is
okay.
like, I don't know, it's more of a video camera,
Fancy.
but
Fancy.
I tried using like one of my optical viewfinders on it, and then did I tell you this?
No.
So I had my optical viewfinder mounted on top, and I was using a 35, and I was walking with my kid because he needed to use the bathroom, and then when I looked at my camera, it was gone,
What?
and that thing is like $300.
Like it fell off the hot shoe? I don't understand.
Yeah, like you just mounted on the hot shoe.
Yeah.
So that thing is like $300, and I had just bought it. Like I think I had it for 2 weeks,
Okay.
and
Oh no.
yeah. So
Like, how does it fall off?
well, it's just the hot shoes on these cameras these days are not as
Sturdy.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it did have
It
a
was just
dial,
loose.
and it was locked in, as far as you could tell, but it wasn't
No, like
locked
you
in
can't
correctly.
even like lock it in.
Oh,
You
it
just
doesn't even
slip
have
it
the screen.
on.
Oh.
But it was made for Leica cameras,
Oh.
film Leica cameras.
I feel like we're talking about condoms all of a sudden.
No,
Like,
no, no.
You gotta have some tension in that.
Well, I
It's
do.
gonna
I
slip
like.
off
Well,
every time.
now I put tape on the back, but yeah, it like fell off, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I just lost $300 right
That's
there. But then
crazy.
I walked around, I backtracked,
Oh.
and I ended up finding it on the
Oh,
ground.
nice.
But it was in such rough condition. Like
Oh.
it was all black paint,
Oh shit.
like enamel black paint. It was all like pristine. It was in new condition when I got
Yeah.
it, and then when I got it, it was like.
Just
We'll just say it was
stepped
like
on.
there was patina, right? But the optics are fine. It's,
Okay.
I don't know. I was
It's
just
usable.
like,
It's
I was
just not
really
used.
discouraged about that.
Oh,
It's like,
no.
fuck. Like,
That's what you get for all your gas, buddy.
I know, dude. It's whatever. But like, no, recently I've just been shooting with the Ricoh GR.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the Sony
I'm
A7.
so jealous of that camera. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the Sony A7. I just use that for video.
Why can't I find like a GR2 for cheap? It should be like
that
$100
shit's-
bucks.
It's so expensive
It's
now.
so expensive. It's like you still got to spend what, $1,400 something. I don't know. I can't find them anyways, but I once in a while peek because I want a little pocket camera, and it's not happening.
I bought that thing for $500 in 2015.
Wow.
This was my first one, and then my oldest kid at the time was 3, and he jumped
Worked
off the
it.
bed,
Nice.
and landed his ass on my camera bag, so he broke my camera.
I like how tense you look all of it. You're like, fuck. Yeah.
And then I bought another one for, yeah, about the same price
Yeah.
in 2016. And then the price now for that specific model is like $900.
It's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
It's wild.
It's hard to, yeah. I mean, photography is...
All thanks to just inflation.
Oh, come on. Oh, shit. Was that
weird.
us? Or is that
I
us?
think so.
Oh, wow. Fucking.
Oh.
I love that we can blame a global economic problem on a single person. I read an article headline. I didn't actually read the article, but does Pierre Poilievre live in public public subsidized housing? Just like Jack and the Olivia
I don't
Chow
know.
stuff?
That was a Beaverton article.
Oh,
It's satire. But
okay.
like,
I just flicked by it, so
they probably did their due diligence.
all
And
right.
even though it's satire, it's probably real.
I shouldn't just
I'm
say
not
Pierre
going to look it
Poilievre.
up on
Our
the pod.
future prime minister, Pierre. That's fucking frightening.
He's from here, hey? You know
What?
that?
I
He's from
thought-
Calgary?
Oh, and he moved to Quebec to get a seat.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, he used to live in Shaughnessy.
oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's why he's rising. He's probably sleeping with Stephen Harper. Good.
Yeah. Well, he's very good at like agitating working class people because there
Yeah.
are material conditions.
Trumpism, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are material conditions that are worsening.
Yeah.
But it's not because of immigrants or whatever. It's because
It's because capitalism does not work, at least right now. Did I tell you about that article I read? It was a op-ed about how the biggest problem where capitalism fell is when we lost moral education. Did I send that to
moral
you?
education.
Yeah.
No.
So it's pretty interesting. This guy posited that it was during the 80s to the 90s when we took away sort of religious and cultural formation in society. And he's like very careful. He's like, I'm not talking about churches and I'm not talking about like modern religious rhetoric, which is like hate-based and like fucking violent.
Mhm.
But we lost this line that there's this sense of a good way to act and a good way to associate with our fellow man. And instead, somewhere around the 80s and 90s, he has a date, I don't remember why, we got into what we now know as capitalism, which is this pure, unmitigated, selfish individualism, where it's about what I earn, fuck everybody else. It's about my success, and it's not about a family system or a community. It's not about upraising. So I read it. Like there's some parts where I was getting a little irritated, but it made me think, there was a point where maybe I could want to make money with a podcast, but it wouldn't be about what I'm going to buy with it. Maybe it could have been about feeding my family. Imagine that. Maybe it could have been, like I have a friend, Alvin, and I've been seeing him having some tough times. Maybe I can use this podcast money. There's no money in podcast. This podcast money and buy him a fucking optical viewfinder that he just stepped on because he's an idiot.
I didn't step on it. It was thousands of people on the Stampede ground.
I'm just saying. So like, imagine like a community-minded capitalism. And apparently, because you're a bit younger than me, but the capitalism I grew up in, we had lived in Pink Cloud. It actually kind of worked in the 80s and 90s. People were actually kind of happy. It was super weird. It was a lie, but it wasn't as sick as it is now.
From what I recall, if my reading serves me right,
Probably does, yeah.
Reaganomics
Yeah.
gave a short boom.
Yeah.
So everyone's material conditions like
Went too high. Yeah.
not too high, but like it got better, right? Like like good material conditions are great. That's a good thing. That's always a good thing.
Can be, yeah. Can be.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. But then like at the same time, there was mass union busting,
Yeah.
welfare, like social services and welfare was like cut, like funding for that was cut and deeply antagonized. And yeah, that's where like the rugged individualism
Like the
kind of birthed, which is
if you're failing, it's your fucking
which is
fault.
funny because like
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was a recipient of union
Well,
of a union.
these one percenters take care of each other like a family. So there's something weird. There's something weird we're missing as low income earners.
Having a community is a great thing to have, and
Sure.
I think like that's ultimately what we are missing now as opposed to then. But when you look at how things were formed as far as the material conditions go, and even down to our infrastructure, like our main means of transportation are cars,
Yeah.
right? And our neighborhoods accommodate for cars mainly.
Yeah. All roads.
Right.
Yeah.
No cycling, Kids
No
can't
walking.
play
Yeah.
on the street.
Yeah, you can't even go to the playgrounds anymore.
Yeah.
People are too scared to let their
Yeah,
kids out.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have like mom and pop shops
All
like
gone.
fucking disappearing,
Yeah.
right? So there is no community.
No margins.
Yeah, where like you can like, you know, get to know your community members, right?
Yeah.
There's like no centralized place. Churches are still a great way, even though I'm an atheist now, but churches are a great way to build a community.
Yeah.
That seems to be
Maybe the last bastion of
yeah,
community building. I don't know. It's not sports. There's nothing more polarizing than sports.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't really care about sports.
That's what I
Sports are
mean.
gay.
Easy now. All right. Well, I don't know. That's kind of our update. What else? You know what? I just thought we should make this into 2 recordings. A, because it's hard to
hold
fucking
on.
post.
If I may interject,
Yeah.
you should read Mark Fisher's work, Capitalist Realism.
Did you refer that to me before?
No.
1 second.
But I've been reading it, and it's a great analysis on how.
Here's the thing. We're at a library.
Yeah.
So
No, search it up.
which Mark? Is it a K or a C?
Mark with a K, Mark Fisher. He's dead now, R.I.P. But great analysis
isn't?
on how capitalism kind of not invades, but like is a part of.
Okay. Which one do I get? Capitalist realism, post-capitalist desire.
No, capitalist realism. Is there no alternative or some shit like that?
I'll put it on hold. Too many communists are reading this. Oh, it's because there's only 1 copy. All right, I'm third in line. Okay, I'll read it.
No, it's great. So far.
Are you reading it right now?
I bought it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you don't get it, I can just lend it to you. I guess the thesis around that book is that capitalism as a system has been so integrated in our lives that we just can't escape it no matter how hard we try.
Yes.
Right down to anti-capitalist sentiments. So like if I buy
Still in a framework.
leftist theory books like Lenin, which you could get for free at Marxist.com, I want the paper version because I read better on paper.
The machine. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would still have to order it off Amazon because that is the only place where I can buy it.
Yep.
Right, which feeds the capitalist machine, and even down to like the aesthetics, like Black Lives Matter, right?
Yep.
Buy Black Lives Matter flag, or even at Walmart,
gotta buy the swag.
Every Child Matters shirts.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's just no escaping it. It's pretty dreary to think about, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and continue to be a revolutionary optimist.
I like to consider myself as an anti-consumerist. I really don't like purchasing stuff. I certainly don't like to consume things ad hoc, but yeah, whatever we do right now, we are within a box because the entire world is in that box. There's no refuge. There's no place where you can go in this utopic thing where you're like, oh yeah, everybody's hugging each other and we feed each other from the fruit of our I don't know, like this nice, fun, glorious golden pasture doesn't exist.
Oh, like the means of our production
doesn't exist. And I know communist manifestations in the past shouldn't necessarily be a rule, but it just didn't work. So the real fight is how do we do it from our homes and, without losing our creature comforts.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that, well, first of all, like it did work in Cuba.
Yeah, I got to analyze Cuba.
Think about the embargoes, right?
Yeah,
it's because they weren't allowed to do free trade.
I'm learning about North Korea. North Korea is not as fucking weird as we think.
No, North Korea is actually like pretty awesome.
Pretty high
like back
functioning
then.
society.
I don't know about now.
Yeah, from the 50s through the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I read? Did I tell you this? North and South Korea are actually going to meet for reconciliation talks, but their planned meeting at Washington, D.C. to be heralded, let's say, by Bill Clinton.
Why though? Why? That seems like an op to me.
Was broken by Dick Cheney getting into office with W. Bush and putting North Korea on the terrorist list or whatever that list was called. Pretty interesting. Oh, why were they going to unify?
No. Like, why are they meeting
the US?
in DC? Yeah.
Well, the U.S. has their hands in everything, and they tried to broker the peace. Well, and if I learned it,
it's because South Korea is a client state of the United States.
No, well, okay. I mean, I don't know for realsies, but everything I've been reading is that that's patently false. And what South Korea really is a manipulator who understands that the only way they were going to get power is by pretending that the United States had everything, but they actually blame America for all of their problems. So
that's
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know enough Korean people to understand the sentiment. Also, Korean people have a very closed off, self-looking culture. So I don't know if they would be open to talking about it.
Okay, well, as a Filipino, I'm just going to say that I'm going to stay out of Korean people's business.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want. That's probably why, Korean people love Korean people, man. That's the thing. Anyways, let's make this kind of like a catch-up episode. And then, because we have a little bit of time, let's talk about something else on a separate recording, because these are hard to post-process. Anything else that you've been up to? You cut your hair. Looks good.
Cut my hair. I had it at shoulder length.
Yeah.
I miss it, but not as bad as I thought.
No.
Not much else. Just like back to the routine, back to school. That's about it. I'm trying to
lift more weight.
Yeah, I'm really just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
I'm taking photographs here and there, and I was inspired by if anyone has seen the Polly B YouTube channel. His walkie-talkie videos.
Subscribed.
Yeah, I think I'm subscribed as well. But I saw the one with Aaron Berger. Shout out to Aaron, whom I met in 2019.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool guy. Very nice guy. He's also a bro, lifts weights, does Olympic weightlifting. Yeah, it was just like his methodology and how he approaches the craft was just like it's inspiring. And also he mentioned that it's like at this stage anyway, like, and I really related to it, was that I've been photographing since seriously, I'm doing air quotes, seriously photographing since 2014. And I was like incredibly passionate about it up until like, I would say like 2019 was like when things started to burn out. But he mentioned that like at a certain stage, it's not about how passionate you are. I'm paraphrasing here, but like it's all about like the longevity of it.
Yeah.
Like how far you can play in the game, I suppose. Once again, paraphrasing. Watch the video.
Oh yeah, you should.
But yeah, like that totally like just related to me, and I was like, damn, like that's real shit. Because I still want to photograph. I just don't know what to photograph.
Yeah, that's real.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not like photographing is something you should even think in the first place. It should be based on your intuition. But like right now, my intuition, aside from that short week where I was inspired, my intuition is just telling me to sort of chill out. I'm sure a lot of people, especially photographers that we've worked with, like JC Yepes, who is also a street photographer from Calgary.
Great photographer.
He's an OG, as far as I know. He was like photographing back in God knows when. I think I heard of him like even starting back in 2009, if you could correct me on that. But yeah, that's almost 14 years now that he's been photographing, I think. But I think he was burnt out for a bit, and then he came back in 2017 and has been like on a pretty good run, I should say.
Oh yeah.
His shit is like very interesting. He's legit one of my favorite photographers from Calgary.
His work should be publicly seen. He's so humble and shy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
He's got an eye.
Yeah.
Shouts out to JC.
Yeah, buddy. You're supposed to be on this fucking recording.
No, we should get him. Get him on.
I keep telling him, and he gives me I don't know. And then he actually signed up for Discord, and then the Discord died. Fuck. No, I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking, we don't just live in a world of instant gratification. We want this constant gratification. And so these processes, like being a photographer, if we're talking about longevity, of course, it's like a relationship. We're going to have these like lulls where you're just kind of floating, treading water.
Yeah.
Because how can we be stimulated that long and that continuously? It's impossible.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's like in all crafts, like even, fuck it, I'll be a bro. I'll compare it to fucking lifting weights.
Yeah.
Like when you're detrained, right, you're feeling really fucking weak. And then as you stay consistent, progress, you eventually reach what's called a peak, right? Where you're your strongest. Once that peak has been reached, you're back to like being detrained.
Life lessons.
Shouts out to all my photography himbos out there.
That's a thing now, for sure. There's just too much muscle in general. Speaking from like, I'm still working this injury, so I'm gonna be back soon. I'm gonna get running.
You'll bounce back.
Yeah. Fucking old age. All right, let's let's turn this off for this one, and then you can tell me if you have time, because I
got time. No, I got time.
All right, cool. Do you want to let it run and just let me cut
let's
it?
let it run.
I think my mic's just... It is recording though, right?
It is recording.
I can see the waveform,
There.
but it is the mic, right? Okay, it's separate. Okay.
The Shure SM7B. It's one of the best mics you could get.
No,
This is the
this-
mic that Michael Jackson sang Thriller on.
What do you mean? This is that old? This model?
Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say it's one of the best mics you could buy.